When people judge caregivers and blame them for their loved one being dysregulated, it bothers me so much. That person needs help, not judgment. So here's how I model emotional regulation strategies in the moment of dysregulation. Remember that during this time, that person is unable to access the part of their brain responsible for problem solving, communicating, and making the right choices. So it's up to us as a member of their support team to help them through that moment. The first distinction you want to make is this person starting to become dysregulated, or is this person fully emotionally dysregulated? This is when knowing the signs of dysregulation in your loved one is essential. The reason that the approach is different for these two types is because if a person is just starting to become dysregulated, they're just starting to get heightened, they might still have access to their ability to receive language. So in this case, I would first start by validating them by mirroring their behavior or their stim, or trying to de-escalate the situation using humor or self-deprecation. You don't want to go directly into redirection or telling them what they need to do because they're at this heightened state, right? So we need to validate and de-escalate it with humor, self-deprecation, or mirroring behaviors. This is essential because you are calming the nervous system. You are making it an anxiety-free moment for them. Then, however much time it takes for that person to receive that, I'll then say, hey, I noticed that you might be dysregulated because you're doing XYZ behavior. Should we take a break? If they say no, that's fine. I'm going to grab their favorite sensory activation item and model the behavior of activating my senses. And if they say yes, then you're going to do that with them. Now let's go back. If somebody is already fully dysregulated and they're not able to receive language, we're just going to jump all the way to the point of modeling sensory activation strategies with no language. Their brain's at the heightened state. They can't receive language. They're not going to learn anything new in that moment until you take energy away from their emotional and survival brains. So it is just the visual model of me using sensory activation items and not adding any verbal language to it. The timing on how long these things takes depends on the person. At some point, I will then offer them, again, with no language, the option of using a sensory activation item. For both situations, I set the stopwatch feature on my phone on and measure the amount of time it takes for that person to feel better after using sensory activation methods. Once that person is regulated,